And Apo Johnny Enrile is in the house. Woo! Yes, 99 years old.
Gusto ko happy kayo.
Uy, parang parang campaign commercial. Okay, 99 and counting. Wow.
99
Yes.
and waiting.
And waiting for 100.
Waiting.
Okay, waiting for 100.
Korina, don't ever think that you have all the time. Anything can happen.
That's true.
I can make it long, can make it short. Just ride along. Enjoy your life, whatever it is.
Is that your secret?
I have no secret. I'm like a weed thrown into a river and taken along wherever it will bring me.
Your life story is really one for the books. Since you were young.
Nobody can follow my life. Its life is unique.
But you remember everything since you were born?
Yes. My God, I was born almost at the turn of the century. 19th century, I was 1924. Aguinaldo was still alive. Agrippa was alive. Quezon was alive.
Si Apo talaga.
Osmeña was alive.
What about Adam and Eve?
Hindi
mo na naabutan.
Lapu-Lapu was still being talked about.
No, I don't think so. Okay. So, of course, you know that that's the first question everybody wants to ask.
How many girls did I love?
You can also answer that question. How many girls?
All I have to do is to sing a song to all the girls I loved before.
You are welcome to start right now.
No, come on.
Ay, walang number. Suddenly, you don't remember, ha?
Huh?
Suddenly, you don't remember.
There are some that I do not remember.
By choice. By choice. Okay.
Sometimes by amnesia.
Selective. Selective amnesia. Okay. Pero sa babae lang po yun. Pero pagdating sa kanyang talambuhay, you remember everything.
I cannot recall anymore, but the scenes are still fresh in my mind. But sometimes the faces, the names of the characters involved are fading.
You are very open about being anak sa labas.
Yes.
You always say that. Why?
That is reality. My father was married. He has children. He saw my mother. She was young and widow. And then they embraced each other. They produced a Juan Ponce, Juanito.
Totoo ba? Embrace lang talaga. Ganun pala nung mga panahon na yun, ano? Tinginan lang, nakakabuo na.
I did not mind it.
Right.
In fact, in my school, they used to shout at me and say, bastardo yan eh.
Ah, ganun? How did you take it?
I didn't mind it.
You didn't mind it. And then the war broke out. And I just got the...
And the bastardo is me now. And what were they?
Correct. Exactly. Do you think that had an effect that made you hung?
I did not intend that. I did not hope it.
Right.
It happened.
Your personal history, you know, all the hardships produced a hunger for you to excel.
Things happened in my life that changed what I wanted to be. And then I diverted my path. I wanted to be an engineer. Something happened. I saw that people are not equal. So I changed my course. I became a lawyer.
Ah, ganun pala yun. I see. Your hardships as a child or as a teenager, I only found out today that
That is why nobody can argue with me.
because
I passed through all kinds of trade. I became a fisherman, I became a farmer, I became a road worker, I became a lumberjack. Anything
naging yaya
to
pa
feed
daw.
myself.
Yeah.
I never wore a pair of shoes or slippers until I was 21.
Nakapaa ka lang, Apo?
I only finished first year before the war. My father, when I arrived in Manila for the first time and met him, took me to Malabon. And when he talked to me, "Where did you go to school?" Well, I said, "In the town of Gonzaga, a remote town, a sleepy town, full of boulders, no road.
Wow.
I have to walk the seacoast and rocky terrain." And he said, "Your English is punk." I do not know what he meant by punk, but that's how he called it.
Maybe it sounded
And
Ilocano.
then, "What did you finish?" I said, "I'm only first year, high school." "You're too old to be in high school." So he talked to the Mariner sisters. Sister David was the director of Mariner in Malabon, St. James. They enrolled me in the second semester of third year. I could not graduate because I cannot account for my subjects in second year and first semester of third year. So I had to go back to the school that expelled me to get a certification that I was studying there. And I took a validating examination in Centro Escolar.
Oh.
I graduated 1947.
Wow. Your memory is still so sharp, ha? Do you still remember the days with the Japanese, yung mga Hapon?
Yes.
What can you not forget about those days?
The tortures that I went through. 90 days in the hands of the Kempeitai. 90 days of hell. I could feel the blade of the samurai on my neck. I was beaten up. I stayed in a dungeon where the only way I could distinguish day and night is pin lights filtering into a 4x4 wooden poles put together in front of myself, which is concrete at the back, concrete on two sides. Mm-hmm. And the entrance is half a meter. You have to crawl inside.
Wow.
You do your thing inside in a barrel.
Wow.
You sleep on a cemented floor without any mat or blanket. I had my clothes as a guerrilla, which I never took off for 90 days without any bath.
Wow.
And I live on a bowl of rice, sometimes it's spoiled with what they call tahuri on top, and an alpine milk, can of milk for water, ration every day.
How do you think you survived that?
I was used to hardship
Were you prayerful?
in my youth. Because of poverty. I used to eat only once a day, sometimes not even once.
Wow. At 17, 18,
I started becoming a fisherman at the age of 7.
wow. That's child labor. Today, today that is child labor. But in the province, there's no such thing, right?
You know, none of you could imagine what I went through. That's why when I discuss things in the Senate or in the House or in the Cabinet, I know what they're talking about. Farming,
Right.
fishing, killing.
Nobody can argue.
If they had the experience, yes.
Yes, yes. So, you became a lawyer, but when you first met your biological father, did that have a big effect on your mindset?
Yeah, he asked me what I wanted. And I said, nothing. I just want to be educated. In fact, when he died, I gave all my share of the inheritance to my brothers and sisters. I did not receive any 1 centavo.
Why?
They needed it more than I did. I knew I can take care of myself.
Your education, taking up law, is what opened your eyes to politics?
Politics was out of my ambition. I never wanted to go into politics. It just happened. I was busy as a lawyer organizing businesses for foreign companies. Dole Pineapple, United Fruit, and so forth and so on. Dole Pineapple is still in Mount Matutum. The banana plantation was in Davao. I also did that. And it was stopped because I was investigated by Senator Tañada and Alejandro Almendras, Blue Ribbon and Agriculture. In fact, I nearly came to blows during a hearing with Almendras because he was pointing his finger at me. And I told him, Mr. Senator, please do not point your finger at me. You killed Japanese, I did too, as a fighter for my country. If you want to settle the matter, let's go out.
So umatras siya.
And on that day, I was already living in Urdaneta village. We transferred our law office from Dasmariñas in Manila to the corner of Paseo de Rojas and Ayala. I did not go to my office, I went home. I was watching a black and white TV. And all of a sudden, my telephone rang. And somebody introduced himself as Colonel Vicente Raval. And said, what do you want? I want to talk to Attorney Enrile. This is he. I said, what can I do for you? The Senate President wants to talk to you. I thought it was about the row that I had in the Senate. And it's in the book. And yes, I said, I'll dress up and see him. No. He said, he wants to see you. No, he said, I can go to him. He does not have to come to see me. Then all of a sudden, there was a lull. Then another voice was on the other end. And he said, Johnny, he said, I have never met you. I would like to have dinner in your house tonight. So what can I say?
And who was this person?
Ferdinand Marcos.
And that started everything.
Yeah.
So your first...
He came to dinner in the house.
Yes.
That was my first time to meet politicians of that caliber. He was accompanied by, and my first time to meet Kokoy, General Ver, Romy Edu, John Leido, and Roque Ablan.
So
And he
that
came.
started it.
I still remember his attire. Black shoes, black necktie, white shirt, and pinned that creamy suit. And he came, and he wanted me to run for Congress. And I said, I cannot. I have many clients, I cannot leave them. But yung pala, hindi yun ang talagang plano niya na kung bakit gusto niya ako makausap. Nagkaroon siya ng problema sa probinsya ng Cagayan dahil he was banking on the solid North vote. This was at a time when the Nacionalista Party was going to hold a convention to pick out their candidate for president. The delegates of the Nacionalista Party in Cagayan, of which I was a member, was committed to Manny Pelaez, but I did not. And so, naging puwang yun sa Solid North. That was the problem. When he came, he did not tell me about the problem. The following day, after he came, my bosom friend, my best friend, classmate in UP, Rafael Salas, called me up and said, "You met the Senate President last night, didn't you?" "Yes," I said. Why do you ask?" "Want you? I want to talk to you about something." "Why?" I said. "I'm working for him. I am his campaign manager." "For what?" I said. "For the convention of the Nacionalista Party." So I talked to Paeng. I said, "What's the problem?" "The delegates of Cagayan are committed to Pelaez. Can you fix it for the Senate President?" "I will try," I said. So, in short, what I did was, I talked to the delegates of Cagayan to vote for Pelaez in the first balloting. But if none of the candidates would get the needed vote to be the nominee, then we will swing our vote to Marcos. But I committed myself to Marcos. And that is exactly what happened. In the first balloting, there were 5 of them: Fernando Lopez, Gil Puyat, Pelaez, Tolentino, and Marcos. Marcos got 555 votes, the highest. Second was Pelaez. Fernando Lopez, Tolentino, and Gil Puyat withdrew. In the second balloting, Pelaez and Ferdinand Marcos fought it out. Marcos got 777 votes. That's why he's very fond of the number 7. Everything is 7-7.
Lucky number nga daw na yan, yes.
And he became the candidate for president.
Oo.
That was my first contact in politics.
In politics, yes.
And from there, I thought that was the end of it. Then they continued calling me until there were so many issues about the issues against President Marcos. I eventually turned out to be a part of his legal team and became mainly one of two lawyers who served him all the way throughout his campaign. Ding Dong, Tihanki, and I, if you remember the iginuhit ng tadhana that really made President Marcos win, we handled that. And from there, it catapulted me everywhere.
Everywhere.
In the
Secretary
political
of
world.
Justice, Secretary of Finance, Secretary of National Defense.
At any given time, during the Marcos period, I had 6 positions, concurrent positions.
Concurrent.
Yeah.
What are those?
Well, first I was Undersecretary of Finance. I became, for the first time, an Undersecretary, Chairman of the Philippine National Bank, because there were many problems, legal problems. Then I became Acting Insurance Commissioner. I became Acting Commissioner of Customs, member of the Board of Industries, so forth and so on. Marami.
Kaya po ninyo yun?
Every day my desk was clear.
What is your working style that you were able to do all of that?
I go over all the documents and sign them and finish. I had good stuff.
At a time when you're so busy, how do you rest? You sleep well?
When I go to bed in those days, in 2 minutes I'm out.
Suerte. Not everybody can do that. Ah. Okay. And you've always
And I
been...
do not go to the CR.
What?
My sleeping was continuous.
Ah, wow. You maintain your health, you work out.
I went through a lot of sickness. When I went to Singapore for a checkup, the doctors there examined me thoroughly. And then, do you remember if you got sick, very sick? Yes, I said. When I was young, after I had malaria, I got sick. I was spitting the whole night until I was spitting a greenish, yellowish bile. And then I was able to get out of it. I went through a dysentery. And then, why did you ask that? You're one of a very few persons that we know in medicine who survived that disease.
Wow.
It was something, a virulent kind of hepatitis.
But you survived it
Yeah.
also.
I went through malaria, dysentery. I did not have cholera, smallpox. I have large bakuna.
But you've been through so much. So, what is the secret, Apo? Because
And one thing, in our place, we never had any medicine. I never took medicine when I got sick in those days. When I had malaria, the only medicine for malaria was quinine. We never had any quinine in our place. It's a remote place where I was born. Then we have a tree that grows along river beds. Cinchona tree. We get the bark of that, you slice it into small pieces, boil it, 1 cup, reduce it to 1 one spoonful and drink it. So bitter.
But it cured you.
Yeah, it cured me.
It cured you.
There are so many leaves and so many roots that you can use.
So you believe in herbal also?
I started from there.
Yes.
Purgative, coconut oil.
Right. Were you scared when you had COVID?
No, I never had any symptoms.
Ah, okay.
My oxygen was 99. I had no fever, I have no body aches. I have no loss of breathing. But I was positive. And I stayed in the hospital for 5 days. Before that, I had pneumonia.
Wow.
And then
That's not a
afterwards, I got it again. But I stayed in the house already.
So there's so many things to discover about you that the younger generation don't know. All they know is that you're 99 years old.
It's commercialization.
Yeah. And they also probably don't know that you've been active since those days up to today. You became Senate President also. What is the secret to the longevity of your career as a politician?
I do not know. I did what was necessary, but I never paid or bought votes.
Bought votes.
I lost. First time I ran in 71 for the Senate, I lost because of Plaza Miranda. They said, Enrile is responsible for that. Ninoy, Corpus, and so forth and so on. Ramon Mitra, who was a very dear friend of mine in Palawan, I was delivering a speech, and then a little girl came on the stage and gave me a puppy, Tuta.
You even remember those things.
Of course.
And then,
I was telling the Vice President, the first time I met you, I said, was in Davao during a rally. You were in camiseta, I said, and denim pants. She was surprised.
that you remember that. So politicians can be villains, the next day hero, the next day villain again, and then the next day hero again. Yes.
You are popular.
So how would you describe Philippine politics?
It's a rara game.
It's like anything goes?
You have to be patient and thick-skinned.
Has it evolved? Philippine politics, has it changed? Has it gotten worse?
This time, in the rural areas, sad to say, but it's all money. That's why they kill each other.
Would you advise a good friend or even your children to go back into politics?
I advised my daughter to run. She had the votes, but in the counting, different na.
Yes.
Mali-mali ang pera. We try. If we do not try and do not challenge, we perpetuate this kind of a system. Who will lose? The country, the people. They do not know better.
Your proudest moment in your tenure?
I never made those calculations. Anything I do is, I never look at it as a source of popularity or heroism. I do it because I thought it is right. It is a right course to do it.
So you also believe in change of heart. Like history changes. history.
You cannot have a set, immovable, unchangeable position in life. You have to be a realist, change course if necessary. Put your life on the line if necessary, retreat, run away if it's necessary. It's not a sign of cowardice to hide if the forces against you are too much to contend with.
So you live to fight another day.
You have to think all the time, anticipate. My God, I was 3 years in the jungles of this country. I started at the age of 17, fighting the Japanese with bolt action rifles, Enfields, and Springfields. Single shot. We ran out of ammunition. What did we use? Bow and arrow, made of anahaw tree. You know, some of the fighters who fought the Japanese during the war were not like us. They ate us, the aborigines of the country. They were hunters. My team was composed of that.
Mm-hmm. Would you have wanted to become president?
I never intended to join the government. I never dreamed to wield power. It came. I served. I used it. Let the people judge it. Let history write about it if they want.
And they can also read your book.
Yeah. Not
We
well
have a book.
Not well written because I learned my grammar not from teachers, but from a Marino sister.
Okay. But this is really you. I mean, this is from you.
Everything I said there happened.
Right. Right.
You know, the manuscript of that is with Katrina. It's about 2,000 pages. There are so many things written there that were not included.
Are you surprised the Marcoses are back?
If Noy can come back, why not a Bongbong? Why not a Jinggoy or someone else? Why not a Macapagal Arroyo?
Or a Robin Padilla?
Puede. No, I am not joking. I talked to that guy. He does not know how to speak English, but he has the head.
What should be changed politically?
The gridlock that we have. Maybe if we have to change the political system, let's try the 1973 Constitution without Amendment number 6.
Sorry, which is?
The Amendment number 6 was patterned after the French Constitution under de Gaulle, because at that time we wanted to hasten the reforms. And the president at that time, President Marcos, wanted to continue issuing PDs, which until today we are using those presidential decrees that we prepared during martial law. In fact, nobody can question about the way they were written. That's why they are still being used today.
But you still subscribe to the presidential form of government.
Parliamentary, with the president as head of state, separate the state from the government. Politics will be played in the government area, but no politics in the state level. Then we will have probably a more stable, solid society. We must have a multi-party to give voice to different groups in the society.
So you still believe in multi-party, yes.
Yeah, and you can work with coalitions. We must always represent in the government a majority of the people. Mm-hmm. What do we have today? A president who does not represent the voice of the majority, only now. Bongbong represents the voice of the majority.
Yes, because he has majority of the votes, yes. But should president and vice president, yes.
We should change the system of the Senate. In 1935, or beginning with the Jones Law, when the senatorial system was first introduced, senators were elected by senatorial districts under the Jones Law. It was changed under the 1935 Constitution that was amended in 1941. 24 senators. Out of that 24 senators, 16 must always be left behind. 1/3 will be elected every 2 years. Why? So that in case of any emergency where the president and the vice president are killed, you have a majority, a quorum to establish a government. Now, if the president, the vice president
It's incapacitated.
die in an airplane, and we are having an election, no, but 12 senators cannot form a government.
Should there be elections every 3 years?
Which do you prefer? Money or national stability?
Okay. So what does this country need?
Never mind about the frequency of election. For as long as it brings peace and order and stability to the society. Because, like Israel, they have to form coalitions to produce a majority. Mm-hmm. So they have a frequent election. That's the only bane of parliamentary system.
Do the politicians still knock on your door to ask your advice?
Recently, I was invited by Robin Padilla.
Okay.
Because he was toying with federalism. I said, it's too expensive for us. Our economy cannot carry the cost.
You will never retire.
Retire?
No, you will never, because of all the people who want to know what's in your head.
Whenever they needed advice and they need what I know, they call me. I serve Cory. I serve Ramos. I serve Gloria. I serve Noy Noy. Erap. I serve
Marcos and Marcos.
Duterte.
Duterte.
He asked me to help him in the West Philippine Sea.
What is your advice about the West Philippine Sea? How should they handle that?
For me, we have to deal with China. Negotiate. If China negotiates with us, what does that mean? It means China itself recognizes our right in the Philippine Sea. But China has a claim. So we can talk and share whatever there is there to share, instead of having an arbitral award that you cannot enforce. Consuelo de Bobo.
Hindi pwedeng kaaway.
Paano mo awayin ang China? You need their market. They are a big country. You cannot fight a country with 1,450,000,000 people with our 100 million. They can kill all of us and they survive.
So, Apo, what is your advice to somebody who wants to go into politics?
Read. Read and read. Not trust, but books that are worth reading. He must know every nook and corner of his country. He must have full experience.
Not too many are like you, ah.
You know, I'm not bragging. When I retired from the Senate in 2016, I asked myself, what am I going to do now? When I was in Camp Crame, because of the plunder case that Noynoy filed against me, I got a book about West Philippine Sea, written by Robert Kaplan. I said, maybe I should really study the planet. So that is what I did. I gathered books, anything about China. That's why I can discuss China, West Philippine Sea, even Arctic, Antarctic, the whole planet today because of my readings.
You've been through so much. You've done so much. What in your life is still in your bucket list? What haven't you done yet that you want to do?
I've not learned enough yet.
You have not learned enough yet.
I continue.
You still keep reading?
I can show you the books that I'm reading.
What are you reading now?
The Power of Geography,
The Power of Geography.
written by Tim Marshall. He wrote a book, 10 Maps That Matters in the World.
Wow.
Now he wrote a second book about Australia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and others.
You don't watch Netflix? No movies?
I don't waste my time in those.
Okay. Unlike so many of us, right? Okay. So, you're aware that a lot of people are still so fascinated. People are fascinated that you're 99 and still so sharp. Is there a secret?
I cannot explain.
Do you pray for long life?
No.
No?
I believe in what Omar Khayyam says.
Apparently not.
Huh?
Obviously not.
You read it and understand it.
Okay, I have an assignment now.
110 stanzas. The longest poem ever written. I advise you, all of you, to read it.
In your life now, what makes you happiest? What makes you smile?
My wife,
Talaga?
yeah,
Oh, wow. How is she?
she's in the hospital.
Oh, okay. I hope she's well. How about Katrina is right there?
She's the second one.
She's the second one. Okay. Biglang cambio.
She's my baby.
Forever baby. She still looks like a baby.
My only daughter.
Right, right. That's why. Favorite daughter. Because only daughter. Right?
She knows more than I do.
Maybe so. She made this happen. So she's
She's
really...
more perceptive.
Yes, yes.
And she's paying me a pension.
Okay then, So, okay, it's about your... What is the most important thing in life? That's a big question, I know. But what comes to mind first? At 99, it changes, right? Our priorities change.
I think the most important thing in life is obvious. Your health.
Yes,
Di
I
ba?
agree. I agree.
So, preserve it. Exercise moderately. Eat moderately. Avoid. I was smoking from the age of 10. And it was a substitute for food when I was young. And I stopped when I was, I think, 60.
60?
Yeah,
Wow.
because one day I was coughing, and when I coughed, I threw a flame, a very dark flame, on the basin of my faucet. So I got so scared. What I did was I got all my packets of cigarettes, crumpled them, threw them in a trash can, poured water, and then gave away all my cigarette lighters.
Wow. Okay, so no
Just-
more.
just
Cold
stop.
turkey. Cold turkey.
I just stopped. I do not drink cold water. I drink warm water.
And no more vices. No alcohol, no...
No alcohol, I do not drink.
Okay. So those are some
And
of the
then-
secrets.
As I said, moderation.
So to the younger generation, the millennials, this is what you're saying to them.
Inevitable. There will be war in our region. China wants to dominate the world, and others do not want that. And what is the end result? Who will back out?
And the only way to avert...
Everyone wants to dominate the world. And not only the world, they want to conquer the universe.
Are you worried for...
I worry for my girl and her children, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And I worry for the young generation of this country. They're unprepared. They think life is easy. Life is going to be harder. You have to be very skillful to survive.
How would you like to see or leave the Philippines?
I would like a Philippines that can defend itself from other aggressive countries. Nothing is free. in this century. If America withdraws from the global arena to its own, you take care of your own exports, you take care of your own imports. What do we have to do that? If the Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf is blockaded, or the Strait of Malacca, where do you get your electricity?
So,
Where do you get your fuel? How can you run your automobiles? How can you run your television? How can you have a job?
so a more prepared Philippines that can survive is what you'd like to see.
They will soon, not very far from now, they do not need workers. Everything will be done by robots. Noah Harari, he wrote Sapiens, Homo Deus, and 21 questions for the 21st century.
What struck you about that reading?
Well, he's talking about cloning, AI, quantum computing. It's happening.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess some people are really just blessed. I think you're one of them. You're chosen. So, Apo, maybe just to everybody who had always believed in you, what would you like to tell them?
About
Your message to them, like it's not very often that you get to talk to people one-on-one. And a lot of them are your fans. A lot of them idolize you, if only for the fact that you're 99 and still so sharp. They're all Filipinos. What would you like to tell them?
I cannot give them any advice. Each one will find his way in this world by himself. No two persons are the same. Even my daughter is not the same as me. Her brain is better than mine. She was better educated. And sometimes she teaches me about people.
So I guess, Apo, what you're saying is, nag-iisa lang talaga ang Juan Ponce Enrile. Wow!
You know, when I had my birthday,
Yeah.
I had 99 candles.
100 candles.
I could not put out all the
That's dangerous,
lights.
Dangerous. Don't do that.
President Bongbong Marcos was laughing.
But I'm sure you can blow just 2 candles
you.
that says 99. Ayan! Happy birthday to you! Nag-iisang Juan Ponce Enrile.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
for
much.